All right, Bubs, ready? What?
Okay. So, thanks for agreeing to participate in the usability study that we're conducting. Basically, we're a team of like human-centered design and engineering students from the University of Washington. We're looking to evaluate the usability of AllRecipes, an online social platform focused on researching and sharing recipes. So, this is going to be for educational purposes only, and in no way is it affiliated with Meredith Corporation or AllRecipes at all. Participants must be over the age of 18 and have like a moderate amount of cooking experience. And with your consent, would it be okay to record this video?
Yes.
Thanks. And then responses of participants will remain anonymous, and this should not last longer than an hour, hopefully shorter. So I sent you a Google form, which basically acts like a pre-screener for the study. So it's going to be the forms.google link that I sent you, and if you sign that or fill that out really quick.
Okay.
Thanks, Bob.
Mm. Do I make meals with dietary restrictions?
Yes.
And substitute nuts?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I finished the form.
Thanks. Thanks, Bob. Um, okay. So, um, all right. So I'll tell you a little bit about the structure of the study. First, I'll ask you some preliminary questions about AllRecipes, and then I'll introduce like a specific task that you will aim on completing. So I'll encourage you to speak out loud because that's like the main way that we can like think about the user's thought process and just learn a little bit more behind each interaction. And then after each task, I'll ask you for some brief questions and get your feedback. And then I'll repeat this for every task that you complete. So, do you have any questions before we begin?
No.
All right. So, um, I guess just a verbal version of the consent form since um, can't really sign it at the moment, but um, this participation in the usability study is completely voluntary. All information and recordings will remain strictly confidential. The descriptions and findings may be used to help to improve AllRecipes website design. At no time will your name or any other identification be used. And you have the power to withdraw consent to the experiment and stop at any time. Um, all right. So do you agree to basically everything that's been said?
Yes.
Thanks. All right. So if you can actually, this is going to be the first step. So open the browser to allrecipes.com. And then once you get there, start sharing the screen. Perfect. All right. So, um, So basically first, you are going to go ahead and log on to a sample AllRecipe account. So go ahead and try to log on. All right. And then the email you're going to use is Olivia OP, so LIVIAOP at uw.edu. And then the password is capital U, capital W, capital TEST. So, oh, capital UWT and then lowercase EST. So UW test.
Lowercase est.
Oh, is this still wrong? Okay. Yeah. Let me check the email. Olivia OP. Is this Olivia? Hmm. Oh, oops, there's an asterisk at the end of the UW test password. Sorry, Bob.
Oh, good.
Okay, perfect. All right, so to begin, please take a moment and look at the home page. So feel free to scroll, but please don't click on anything yet. And I have 3 questions for you after you kind of look through it. So what is like your initial impression?
I noticed that immediately there is just a lot of pictures of food. So it's like straight to the point, I guess, that the recipe website and this food is good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then what, I guess other than the photos, or if it is the photos, what stands out the most to you on the homepage?
I guess the photos, or this is continuously. Oh, it's not continuously scrolling. Oh, it is Yeah, this is continuously scrolling with just recipes.
And what do you think you can accomplish on this page?
Find popular recipes, popular dishes.
Um, and do you think that it's like pretty interactive and pretty easy like to browse?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Like, you literally get a picture of what it is, title, rating, amount of ratings, like very short description.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it fits like a lot of stuff on here too.
All right. So now I'm going to read you a few scenarios and ask you to attempt to complete some tasks. So please speak aloud and your thoughts. Please voice your thoughts as much as possible. There are no wrong answers. Before you click on anything, please tell me how you would attempt to accomplish this task and what you expect to happen. All right. So, task number 1. We basically wanted to figure out if users can effectively find recipes that match their personal tastes on the homepage. So task number 1 is going to be, you have a preference for a heart-healthy recipe, an Italian food, and you want to find more recipes online in these categories. Personalize your AllRecipes homepage to see more featured recipes that would fit your preference.
Okay, so first thing I would think is go to my profile and see if I can put preferences on there. So I go up here to the top, over to where my account is. Click on the drop down to see if I can fit profile or settings. So I'll try both of them. So here I am at my private profile, and I can see there's different tabs. I think About Me would be the most relevant, probably, and it isn't. I don't think any of these matter. There we go. So I try settings because profile doesn't have anything that is relevant. And I see tastes, so I click on tastes. Oh, and I can add my taste here. The heart healthy and Italian is already here.
Sweet. All right. So, or I guess since it was conducted with the same account, they're already checked. But, all right. So great job, you found it. So, all right, and then, so how confident did you feel accomplishing this task on a scale from 1 to 5?
5.
Right, and was there anything that made this task easier or hard to accomplish, and how?
It made it hard not knowing whether it was going to be in profile or settings. But that's about it, and I don't think that's even that big of a deal.
All right, and what is your understanding of the purpose of this feature? So, would you use this feature? Why or why not?
Personally, I would probably not, because I usually am looking up specific recipes. But I can see the reason behind it. So AllRecipes can gear like recipes that you'll actually want to cook and eat on your homepage, so you see it like first thing when you log on.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, so for our next task, it's going to be basically seeing how users can like use the favoriting system. So go back to the home page, and then you can take a little bit of time and maybe find a recipe that you like, and then favorite it. And then after that, do your best to try to find the favorites list and find that recipe again.
Okay. I like the pine cone cheese ball, so I see the heart, so I click it to favorite it. I see I can add to a collection. I don't necessarily want to do that, so I'm just going to click all done. And I save to favorites. noticed before when I was in profile that I saw favorites, but I guess there's favorites tab anyways. So I'll just click the favorites under the same drop down as before.
Mm-hmm.
And wow, I'm at my favorites. And there's the pine cone cheese ball.
Yay! Okay. Oh, all right. So, congratulations on completing the task. Again, I'm going to ask you the same post-task questions. So, on a scale from 1 to 5, how confident did you feel accomplishing this task?
5.
Hello?
A 5.
Okay. And was there anything about this task that made it easy or difficult to accomplish, and how?
The giant heart made it easy to know that that was a way to favorite it.
Mm-hmm.
And favorites being right there on the drop down bar made it easy to access it.
And what is your understanding of the purpose of this feature, and would you use this feature in the future?
Yeah, I would use this feature because it lets you save recipes easily and just exclusively look at the ones that you personally want to make.
Good point. All right, and sounds good. So we're gonna move on to the next task, and this task is basically looking into whether users know how to use collections on AllRecipes and whether they can edit these collections with ease. So you did like slightly go over collections, but right now we're gonna actually test it. All right, so um, this task is gonna require you to create a collection. So go back up to the search bar, or like the home page in the search bar, yeah. And then while searching for recipes on the site, you find various recipes that you want to group together into a collection on your profile. Find a way to group together 2 similar recipes and save for later.
On the home page.
You can like, for this one, you can search up any recipes that you would like to use.
Okay. So I search up mashed potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This one looks good, so I favorite it using the favorite button, and I'll start a new collection and call it Thanksgiving 2019. And I click the plus button to add it, I assume. See it selected here. All done. And I guess I need a gravy recipe too, so I look up Thanksgiving gravy. And Chef John looks pretty good, so we'll favorite his, add it to Thanksgiving 2019. All done. And then I need to access my collections.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, back to the drop down menu. I'll go to my profile because I saw it there before.
Mhm.
Go to favorites. Well, I guess I could have went to favorites. But I see it's under collections. Here's my collection.
Okay. Perfect. So similar to the previous tasks, on a scale from 1 to 5, how confident would you feel? Did you feel that you accomplished this task?
5.
All right. And was there anything else that made this task easier or hard to accomplish, and how?
Nothing.
All right. And what is your understanding of the purpose of this feature?
So if you have like recipes for like events like Thanksgiving, then you can just group recipes that you're gonna cook on that day or like close to that day.
Mm-hmm. And do you see yourself using this feature potentially?
Yeah, for Thanksgiving this year.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So thank you. And we're going to be moving on to our next task. This one is going to kind of look into how users follow other cooks and the whole networking behind AllRecipes. And all right, so go back to the homepage.
Okay.
And then the scenario is basically you've heard that Chef John on AllRecipes posts recipes that you would like. Find a way to stay updated on any recipes that he might post in the future.
Oh wow, we really love Chef John. So I'm at the homepage and I see a recipe by Chef John.
Mm-hmm.
By scrolling down, because I noticed that a while the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So I click here to hopefully to go to his profile.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess this is where the follow button would be. But I see we're already following him.
Mm-hmm.
No. Um, I click the follow button to follow him.
Sweet.
Hopefully I didn't break it.
All right.
Yep, we're following him.
Okay. So, in terms of the following feature, did you feel like it was pretty simple to understand and you would find that following someone would be a desirable trait on this site?
Yeah, I think if like you want to follow like popular like chef, like this is an easy way to see like all the stuff they're making.
Mm. And was there anything notably easier or hard about this task?
It was pretty easy that clicking on his actual name brought you to his profile and not the recipe.
Mm-hmm. And what do you feel like you could get out of this feature as a user?
Um, Having a constant feed of recipes I know are from good chefs.
Mm-hmm. Nice. All right. So we're gonna go on to our last task. This one is going to also kind of be in the same realm of like following other cooks. Um, Basically, Chef John has already created a collection of recipes that you are interested in. So find a way to save this collection for later. So, is there any collection that you might find interesting under Chef John's profile?
Collections.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Scary Enough to Eat is pretty cool. So I want to save it. So I see that there's a giant heart again, so I click on that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my favorite.
Okay. All right. So, that was the last task. And, wait, are you currently on your own favorites or are you on Chef John's favorites?
I'm on Chef John's.
All right. Do you think you could find a way to access this collection from your own profile?
Are you telling me to or asking me to explain how to?
Can you do it?
Yeah. Um, I'd probably just click on the heart over here that goes straight to favorites that I didn't notice. So I see one to the recipes, so I go to collections instead. And there I see it's down here
Mm-hmm.
in my collections.
Nice. All right. So, was it pretty intuitive to find your way around your own profile and all the data that like you have stored away for yourself?
Yeah.
All right. And do you feel like this task was relatively easy or difficult?
E-
All right. And um, what do you think is important about this feature? And do you feel like it's necessary for all recipes?
I think it's pretty necessary because people want to categorize the recipes they're collecting.
Okay. So, thank you very much. The usability test went pretty smoothly. Um, I'm going to be sending you a link for the post-usability test survey in the sidebar really quick. All right, so let me know if you got that.
I got it.
All right, and if you could just take a few minutes to fill it out, there shouldn't be too many questions.
Okay. No, I stopped the screen share.
Or can you leave it on? Because I need to ask you a few more questions after this.
Okay.
And then after that, it's like basically done.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is relevant.
The support information.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a
Okay.
good point. I'll discuss with my group mates. All right, and you can go ahead and turn off, or you can log out and then turn off the screen sharing. Oh. Okay. All right, so I'm going to ask you about 7 questions just to like make a conversation about the overall usability of AllRecipes. Um, so overall, what was your impression of AllRecipes?
Pretty intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
Designed.
Mhm. And
Easy
do
to
you feel
use.
like, hmm?
Easy to use.
Mhm. And did you find any particular features on AllRecipes unclear or confusing?
No.
All right. And so everything was like pretty intuitive and like easy to follow.
Yes.
And do you think any components added to that, whether it be visually or organization or just the way that it was presented to you?
Um, I think having like most of the front page be recipes was good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Very stimulating. Um, and how do you typically find recipes when you cook? Or
I I Google search.
okay, so would you see yourself using a tool like AllRecipes?
Yeah.
Nice. All right. And can you elaborate a little more?
Um, Probably just like off of a Google search though, like because there's so many different like recipe sites
Mm,
that I wouldn't be strictly confined to one, like all recipes or something.
mm,
But I wouldn't discriminate a website like from a Google search.
mm. Okay. So, do you think that sorting recipes like this and adding all of these like features and like an almost like social networking system of recipes, do you think that adds a lot to like recipes on its own? Or do you think that it's valuable in general?
Um, it's a valuable feature because networking is valuable networks, but I wouldn't say it adds value to the recipes, like
Mm-hmm.
because there's probably other users like me too that also just Google search the recipe and find it from there. So they aren't going to use like the networking features or like the collection and stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's very true. Um, so I guess going off of that, like we realized all recipes is like they really tried to go towards the personalization path, just like being able to like make your own profile and like edit tastes and stuff. So do you think that personalization is important to you when it comes to like any type of service or product?
Um, yeah, I mean it depends on like obviously the product and service, but
Mm,
having customization doesn't hurt.
that's true. Yeah. And how well did you feel like you could personalize all recipes?
It felt pretty deep. You could personalize quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. All right. And say that you were like a chef. What do you think is most useful when you are in the process of like selecting a recipe?
Ingredients,
Mm-hmm.
ratings, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
to some extent.
Mm-hmm. Um, and do you find that like chefs and like different tastes or different collections being featured on all recipes, is that valuable?
Um, what do you mean? Well,
Um, just like having maybe like more of a feed brought to you rather than like you going out and just looking on your own.
oh, I mean, I can see value in it, not for me, but for other people.
Mm-hmm.
Like people who want to just try making everything. People who are like really passionate about cooking.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. Um, and overall, do you have any like other feedback after walking through the website and completing these tasks?
Not really.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for participating in this. Um, Thank you for all of your input. We have reached the end of the task and the questions. So, as mentioned before, everything will be confidential. And please reach out if you have any questions or would like to access any of like the interview materials. Thank you.
Bye.